That's all we wanted. For her to go to the woods. To go to the gods.
Gods? There are no gods here. There are only monsters.
Hey everybody, I hope you've been well. So, yesterday at the time of me recording this was the Game Awards, and I didn't really catch it live because it was very, very late where I live. But immediately the next morning when I woke up, I caught up to all of the trailers that were revealed. And among them, one in particular really, really surprised me and immediately made my day for the rest of the day. And that was the Witcher 4 reveal trailer. This was really surprising because it comes at a time where, like, for the past month or so, there have been a lot of speculations about The Witcher 4, which was previously codenamed The Witcher Polaris. And we had no idea what this game was going to be about. We only knew that it would take place after The Witcher 3 and that it would be the start of a new saga or a new trilogy. And that's it. A lot of people were making theories about who the protagonist was going to be, if it was going to be something like the case of Cyberpunk 2077, where the main character's name is V and you can change their voice and features. Ultimately, you make your own character in Cyberpunk. So some people were thinking that, okay, CDPR is definitely going to probably go that route or something similar to it, where you can just make your own Witcher. But I don't know, I wasn't really excited for that idea at all, because if you've played The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt and you've finished it and you've played both of its DLCs, Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine, having a completely new character that has no relation to Geralt or any of the characters within the previous trilogy, or just like going back in time when Witchers were really popular, or just following any of those other theories that were being discussed in the community and amongst the fandom, none of them really stuck with me. And I was like just thinking about it for a while, like, why don't they just continue with Ciri? Why don't they give her like her own new story? It would make so much sense based on one of the endings, I think the canon ending of Witcher 3, where spoilers for that game if you haven't played it, it's been out for 10 years, but Ciri can either die or live depending on your choices. But also, if you didn't sell her out to Ymir, which I don't think Geralt would ever do, to be honest, she ultimately ends up becoming a Witcher. Geralt makes her a sword and gives it to her and continues their training together. So if you finish The Witcher 3, and also if you've played Blood and Wine, you just like, you come to realize at some point that CDPR gave Geralt the red carpet walkout, pretty much. They started like introducing Ciri as more than just a side character in the story, having the decisions that you take as Geralt affect the story's ending, as well as your relationship with her. And it set up like a sequel to Witcher 3 where you play as Ciri too well, in my opinion, for them not to utilize that. Like, there were even portions of The Witcher 3 where we did play as Ciri. They were flashbacks, but, you know, they were there, and they were honestly, arguably, some of the best parts of the game, because, like, she was absolutely cracked in comparison to playing as Geralt. So what I mean to say is that none of the theories going around made much sense to me in terms of, you know, continuing the story. From a narrative perspective, it makes the most sense to carry on with Ciri, to give Geralt's torch in a way to Ciri moving forward. And I know that this is a deviation from the books. Technically speaking, the books ended with The Witcher 3. Like, CDPR adapted all of the source material, And at the moment, there are no more books going forward. Like Sapkowski, the author, is just about to release, I think, or did release a new Witcher short stories collection about Geralt in his youth. But there's nothing going forward after The Lady of the Lake, which is the final book in the series. And I feel like it's okay to feel that, in a way, The Witcher 4 does take away very slightly from The Witcher 3, that most of that game's endings are now going to be null and void and are not going to have any meaning because they're not canon anymore. The one true canon ending for The Witcher 3 is that Ciri is alive and well and becomes a Witcher herself. She doesn't go back to being a princess, and she definitely doesn't die, clearly. Something else that baffles me is the countless discussions that I have seen on some subreddits talking about how the next Witcher game cannot have Ciri as the protagonist because Ciri is a girl, and girls cannot be Witchers because the Trial of Grasses was actually perfected for the human male and nobody else. And that is complete and utter bullshit because, first of all, Sapkowski does not care at all whatsoever what happens with The Witcher in terms of games or the show. He really doesn't care as long as he gets paid, which is completely fine. I feel like he's just chill like that. So you can't even argue, that, oh, the author doesn't want this or something like that. Because the author, quite frankly, doesn't care as long as he gets paid, which, hell yeah, like, more power to him. But the other thing is that the Trial of Grasses, people forget, is the most imperfect thing ever. Like, 3 out of 10 boys become Witchers. The rest die during the process of making them a Witcher. You get what I mean? So trying to somehow come to this conclusion that actually girls can't be Witchers because the Trial of Grasses was perfected for the human male DNA. I've also seen a different thread of discussion talking about, elves and dwarves actually can't be Witchers either because, again, the same kind of bullshit reasoning of Witchers are only human males and it can't be another race or another gender, which, whatever you might want to comment on that and try to correct me. I mean, feel free if you do want to correct me. At the end of the day, I fairly recently started getting into the world of The Witcher in terms of books, show, games, everything in between. So maybe there's something that I missed, but like from everything that I've read and everything that I know, the thing is, if anybody would be able to go through this Trial of Grasses and not die, it is Ciri. It is Cirilla of Sintra, because she is one of, if not the most powerful character throughout this entire world. Everybody wants her for her powers, and Geralt and Yennefer are technically the only people trying to protect her most of the time. Jaskier / Dandelion as well, if you count him. Yeah, so people saying that Ciri can't be a Witcher because she's a princess is come on. Like, you're just bullshitting yourself. Ciri is so powerful that she is more powerful than a sorcerer. She is more powerful than a Witcher. She can definitely become whatever the hell she wants to become. She is a descendant of elven blood, so that automatically debunks both of those discussions that girls can't be Witchers, and she also does have elvish blood. So she is not entirely human, and she is a woman, and she is a Witcher. So there you go. Hope we debunked that one. Okay, moving on. So the trailer opens up with this wedding ritual we see taking place. And I feel like for the most part, for the beginning of it, we're supposed to think that this is a wedding, that this is a wedding taking place. At least I thought so. Involving this girl, who definitely doesn't seem very enthusiastic about this. Like, whatever is happening, whatever is taking place here, is happening against her will, or at least she's not happy that she is participating in it. And amongst the crowd, we see the iconic two swords. I immediately spotted this, and I was like, yep, that's a Witcher. And if you somehow missed that detail, immediately afterwards, as the Witcher starts to get going, some villager from the crowd points out. And one detail that I kept thinking about is that this villager is asking Ciri who paid her. And I feel like this could mean one of two things: that either one of the villagers turned on the rest of the town and informed Ciri, a Witcher, of something sketchy going on, and that this is a ritual tradition, and that there's just a monster in the forest or something of the like, and she had to stop it and they would pay her. Or what I think is the more likely scenario is that Ciri is here in this town out of her own volition, trying to take down a monster without necessarily getting paid. She may be even the first Witcher who doesn't really care much about getting paid. Not that Geralt cared much about getting paid either. What I mean is, maybe she is trying to do more good rather than necessarily trying to make a living out of witchering as a job. In the next scene, we see that Ciri calls to the girl and tells her to go back to safety. The girl is clearly very hesitant, but she reluctantly agrees to go back, and Ciri tells her to go back to her father. As Ciri goes into this cave to slay the monster, and I absolutely adore how this fight plays out. Like, the choreographing or programming this fight was definitely an incredible and massively difficult feat altogether. If you've watched the show or even just seen like behind the scenes, this reminded me a lot of the Netflix show in terms of the fight, like in terms of the lighting, in terms of the fight itself. Everything is shrouded in darkness and fog, but at the same time, Ciri is so much like more agile and quicker and faster than Geralt. I think that would really show in terms of gameplay more so, but also because CDPR is going to be using Unreal Engine 5 for this game and all of their games going forward, and no longer will be using the Red Engine after Cyberpunk and how hard it was for them to fix things in that game. So I'm really excited to see how gameplay-wise and the different mechanics and the different like Witcher spells, I'm really excited to see how they will be implementing these things gameplay-wise. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, and it looks like it's going to build massively off of The Witcher 3's combat system. I also love that if we were really unsure whether or not Ciri is a Witcher, this pretty much confirms it. Her drinking a Witcher potion before entering battle and seeing her eyes turn black. Now, the show implements this, I guess, pretty well. We see that here CDPR tried to do something like that, but also with their own take on it and giving Ciri like her cat eye pupil in front of the complete blacked out eye. I think it's a very unique look that is like paying homage to the books and the show in a way, I guess, but also kind of being its own thing that we haven't really seen before. And I think it looks really fucking cool. We also see Ciri using one of the Witcher signs. At one point, we also see Ciri absorbing some kind of water essence thing near her and using that as like a way to transform kinetic energy in the form of electricity to push back the monster or something. I don't know. I'm not a Witcher scientist. But then she goes, picks up her sword, cuts off its limbs, and immediately ends the fight in such Witcher fashion. I can just watch this trailer over and over again till the game comes out, and I will. Don't test me. And after slaying the monster, as Ciri heads back into the village, she hears a scream. She drops the monster's head that she had slayed and goes to investigate. And to her surprise and ours, the girl who was sent as sacrifice by the town gets murdered. as village people speak of gods and how this girl was sent by them as a sacrifice, because otherwise the gods will get angry and demolish the town or send upon them plagues or send them monsters. And it really just sends home the heavy message behind this narrative of following tradition blindly and doing everything that people have been told to do, but not questioning it whatsoever, and the dangers that can result from doing things like this. That even after the danger was settled and Ciri had saved the village by killing the monster, the village still ended up killing the girl because they don't understand otherwise. But the way the narrative in the trailer is so well written and starts off, has a climax, and concludes all within just a mere 6 minutes is so outstanding, in my opinion, that it just baffles me. Like, I don't know. It really reminds me of The Lesser Evil in The Last Wish, one of the short stories about Geralt, which is like how he got the title or the name Butcher of Blaviken, with Renfri or Shrike and Stregobor in that story, and how even though a Witcher may take a neutral stance, that for Witchers, specifically for Geralt, even when he wants to take a neutral stand and swears by his neutrality, he often still wants to do the morally good thing. But even when he does attempt to do the morally good thing, it doesn't always end in a satisfying way, in a way that is good for everybody. And yeah, that's just, I feel like that's just a very powerful and consistent theme throughout the Witcher books and the Witcher games in general. And I'm so excited to see what comes next for Ciri and the Witcher series. And I'm just really, really fucking stoked, man. Witcher 4 is going to be amazing. And if you're asking where the hell is Geralt, we will probably most likely see him in the game in some sort of minor cameo role. But I don't think that CDPR is going to spoil what that is like or what Geralt looks like anytime soon. If they think about this the right way, I feel like they should just keep it off for as long as possible, and just, you know, have them surprise us whenever we get our hands on this game. Probably going to be like closer to 2026. I have a feeling. So yeah, and Doc Cockle, the voice actor behind Geralt in the trilogy of the games, he went from saying that he was going to be in Witcher 4 in some minor role to recently saying that he wasn't sure because they didn't contact him, like CDPR didn't call him up or anything. And when I first heard the narration at the start of this reveal trailer, I was like, oh shit, is this like old man Geralt, like older man Geralt? And did they like replace Doc Cockle with a different older voice actor or something? But I feel like that would not make any sense. Like, even if Geralt is older, he probably is going to be a little bit older than he was in The Witcher 3. Doc Cockle like can pretty much just keep on voicing Geralt, you know, till forever. I feel like his voice is so iconic, and I know that a lot of you guys and just the Witcher fans in general agree with this. Like, I have a feeling that Geralt is definitely going to be in The Witcher 4 in some way, but we'll just have to wait and see what kind of way and how he's going to impact the story and Ciri's story in this game. But that's all from me for now. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you thought about this reveal trailer. Are you excited for The Witcher 4? I really, really am. I was not this excited before seeing the trailer. I thought, I just thought the story would go in a completely different direction based upon like a bunch of theories that I was reading online and discussions, and I didn't really like where any of those discussions or theories were headed much. But yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so stoked for this because I was like I wanted this to happen so badly, but I never expected it to actually happen. So I feel like I'm still living in a fever dream. And please don't forget, toss a like to your YouTuber. And while you're down there writing a comment, slash that subscribe button like Geralt and Ciri would slash a monster. Hell yeah. Let's get it, guys. Let's get to 1K before the end of the year. By the time I edit this video, it's gonna be the end of the fucking year anyway. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.